Hello, hello, hello. Brandon from BDJ Illustrated here, and I'm working on this pages 7 and 8 Goblin Seek, and I am ready to get down to inking, I think. Although part of me wants to add another flower, but I don't want too much stuff going on this page because I might run out of room. Let's see. Since it's digital, it's not going to hurt anything, is it? Maybe I'll have another flower that's kind of like coming in this way. Let's see. Yeah, so these are supposed to kind of be like giant Venus flytrap type plants, or goblin Venus goblin traps, I guess, in this case. Goober's been having some bad luck in this book so far with his hiding spots. Although he was still, I guess she didn't technically find him when he was hiding in the dragon's mouth. Or he wouldn't be hiding on this page as well, right? Unless they play, maybe Goblin Seek, you get more than one chance. I don't know. Not a goblin, so I'm not sure how they do it. Alright, so I don't want to overdo it here, but we'll give this one like we'll have a leaf too. Make it clear that it's a plant. Part of me wants to spend a bunch of time really fiddling around with these things and making them more and more unique, but I know that the more time I spend on that, the harder it's going to be to get things finished. And that's the ultimate goal, is to finish this book and to make the little video series about how we did it, not to just keep making it more and more unique ad nauseum. Alright, so I'm going to make a new layer on top of this pencils layer. Start throwing some ink down here. We'll start with Amanita. She seems to be the most finalized, I think. Eyelashes there. She's smiling. Ears sticking out of her hair. Alright, she needs eyebrows. We got her robe. Her fingers. wrist would be there, a little bit exposed. As I mentioned before, none of this needs to be perfect because it isn't going in a museum. It's just going in a book intended to make a couple little kiddos smile or laugh. And if that's not your goal, you can still use the same process. Although you might want to spend more time. Okay, so it's like this. This. He sees her. The ears. Like that. Or just not raised or anything. I don't know, maybe his expression in this one could be he's not super concerned about it. Maybe that's the joke. I don't know. Okay. He's just smiling because he got found by his buddy. That's what's going on here. Probably could have, or might have been wise to rotate the canvas for that stuff, but didn't. So here we are. And these are kind of like Venus fly lilies or something. Venus goblin lilies. I think about this stuff not, I mean, I am kind of joking around when I'm talking about it, but someone in my house will definitely ask me, why is that plant like that, Dada? Or what is that plant? And they're good questions to ask. You know, if you understand why something that you've drawn or you've included in a story that you've written is the way that it is, then it's going to be more believable to the people who are reading your story or looking at what you've made, because you'll understand it more, and then that'll help you to make a better representation of the thing, either through writing or whatever medium you're doing your art in. And so he's found right there. I don't think the other petal would be visible, so I'm going to go over here to this part and start doing some more work on the other flower to just keep things moving. I'll deal with the texture stuff later. I don't like that. Okay. Here we got this curving that way, and this is coming this way. Do this like this. I wonder if yeah, so I'm having difficulty picturing how that exists in three-dimensional space, which is not anybody's fault but my own. And comes from an inexperience drawing these, made up flowers. So, alright, the petal is going like this. And then means that side is like that, so maybe what I need is for that to come here a little. Then it looks like it's folded over a weird way underneath. Maybe it's that this one's too far out. Perhaps. You never know. Alright. Let's see. I would have kept it closed. Kept the flower petal closed. Petals closed, or the bloom closed. I would be encountering none of these problems, but I also would not have the opportunity to learn. I think I just figured it out. So this one needs to just be like this, because we can't see the other side of it, because it's folded over the other way. So it's all it took. Perseverance. There's that. Get rid of that right there. And then this can come this way. That one's like that. And then we'll just have this kind of, I don't know, shoot out a little bit farther that way. Clean it up somewhat. Well, I'm not sure if I like the way that looks either. I was just talking about trying not to get bogged down on any of the individual pages, to just try and keep things moving. This is like that, so that means this is going to come this way a bit. And where does that leave us? It leaves us still. That's a little odd. I think it's because I pushed it too far forward. I don't know. What?
I was shooting a bus when I was going potty.
You were what?
Shooting a bus when I was going potty.
Doing the what?
Shooting a bunch.
Oh, okay. Come on. Let's go down here.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too. You guys are supposed to be sleeping. What are you doing?
It's because I need to go potty.
Okay.
So that's why she did that.
Okay.
I see your whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
Is it new?
Yeah, I needed this so I could keep track of my stuff.
You got some markers.
Did you guys go to talk to Mommy about this before you came up to my office?
I don't know where mine is. Orange cake.
Did you guys look for them? Where were we here? Trying to build a flower. Not talk about toots. Yeah, so anyway, that is the life of a parent of toddlers. Or at least for this parent of toddlers. I don't know how anybody else does it. Just know how I do it. Alright. I'm going to bring this down a bit more. And what I need to do is just stop inking here. I don't want to give up on you. I don't want to give up on this flower. I'm starting to wonder if maybe I should. So what I'm going to do is, instead of spend a bunch more time on this flower right this second, what I'm going to do instead is just do these kind of less important flowers here. And come back to that later. Alright. And when I come back to it later, I'll determine whether or not I think it's worth the time. Got an animal in here now. Yeah, now my cat's in here. Okay. Just hanging out, Beckett. Just patting stuff. Being catty. I mean, I don't want to give the impression that any of this is professional, so it makes sense that we would just be honest. Okay. And then we just kind of got a stem down here. And then move over to this other one. Guessing that somehow that interruption will make this so that it's not, I don't really want my, whatever. Let's keep this up. This one's nearly done. That. Okay, I'll start getting some texture on this stuff over here. It'll be a little easier to see once I hide the pencils. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'll hide those pencils, 2 layers of pencils. This layer of pencils is actually doing quite a bit of work for do usually listen to music or something while I'm doing this sort of stuff, and so I apologize apologize if I have to make weird, or I don't, what am I talking about? I don't apologize, and I don't think anyone should apologize for making sounds while they work. In fact, it's probably better than total silence if you're watching this on YouTube. I don't know where else you would watch it. Unless you bought the DVD from some DVD smuggler, a pirater, who just recorded burned a DVD of this from his computer while he was watching it on YouTube and then selling it. I don't know wherever there would be a market for this. It's some library somewhere. So I'm thickening up some of these lines to make the lines more interesting. Yeah, we don't need this giant one. The more that I think about it, I mean, yeah, that could be. I mean, part of me feels like I'm making an excuse, not working that problem out, but also, the more time I spend on trying to figure out that flower, which isn't even a major part of this image, the more time I waste that I could be spending on the stuff that actually is important in this picture, or in this on this page or spread, pages 7 and 8. So what I'll do is I'm going to shut down the shut down the inks there, and then maybe try and see if I can come up with maybe like a couple more no, I think that's enough. I don't need any more. Yeah, I don't need any more. We're good. So I'm just gonna make this inker tiny bit smaller here, and I'm gonna try and get some more line variations and things to get this going. That's not good. Oh, wrong layer. I'm gonna merge that, I think. Yeah. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I have to fix her eye, but I'm not gonna do it yet. So we'll do that like this. That's good. Like this. Make her hair just a bit darker in this image for some reason, because I can, I guess. Okay, Goober's hat is going to be darker on the bottom side, but right in here. What do we want? I don't know if I want him to have any of his. I feel like he often has his hand gripping something, and I don't know if I want to do that here or not. Not sure if it matters. It does have a very large smile, though. It's okay. I'll have this for a very good, like a stark contrast between those two. Not there. This. Okay. I mean, I'm probably overdoing it with the texture a bit because I'm still going to color it, but I think some of this stuff makes it more interesting than it would be if it were just, you know, plain, clean ink, clean lines without any added fun. Alrighty. Okay, I'm not sure, but it sounds like they're either fireworks or those girls are, as Professor Snape said, up to something. Which is fine, as long as they're not up to something bad. Which they've thus far never been, so it would be a bit of a shock to encounter that anyway. We'll let it ride for a bit here. Let's see. Okay, so let's cut the pencil layer here. And looking at it on the reference monitor, I think it's clear. She sees him. There's a couple flowers. He's in this flower. I'm not sure if I need to make it look, you know, I could give it an eye or something, you know, like but I don't know if that's, no, it fits. It fits in the world. So let's do it. Let's give this flower an eye, huh? We got the dragon on the other page, and then we got this guy right here. This flower's got an eye, and he's looking at Goober. Probably a little bit upset that Goober's gonna get away. And yeah, I think if we do it that way, and then do we need anything else other than the text? Probably not. I think now we're probably ready to color, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna add a new layer. I'm gonna open the other image. Recent. I've been using page 1 as the reference for color. And I'm gonna whoops. Pull that out. Get this over here. And we'll start coloring. So there's not as much of Goober to color this time, so I'm just gonna get him done quicker, or first. I have been from time to time in this book using the lasso tool, but stopped because I don't want to anymore. I'm just kidding. Stop, because I still haven't mapped it to my remote, and it's just priorities, you know. I could spend time mapping these hotkeys to my remote during the week here when I have these moments to work, or I could do the work. And yes, I know that it would save me time, and it will save me time once I get it done, but fortunately I'm not doing anything that's exceedingly complex that's gonna, benefit from constant selections with the lasso tool and then fills. So I think we'll be all right. And then I'll make the changes and adjustments later. Okay. But I'll paint Goober and Amanita on this layer. And then I don't know if I'll paint, yeah, I might actually just do all this on the same layer because there's enough distance between everything that it's not really going to matter that much. I've already got the colors chosen, so I don't need to adjust anything. I'm not gonna anyway. At this point, I've committed and I'm ready to move on. I've got some book covers to do, and I got that video series to do. As soon as I get the lighting in here fixed so I can actually do the video work that I need to do, then I can get it done, start editing, start uploading. Hooray! Okay, so only thing left is her hair. I feel like it should have been more pink, but, or a more saturated pink, but it is the pink that it is it not? Is the pink that it is the pink that it is? Okay, so we got to get white in Goober's eyes because his eyes are open. Simple enough. And then we need, what color is this plant gonna be? I mean, red seems like the obvious choice. A nice bright red, but we gotta make sure that it's a web-safe red. So it'll kind of blend. Yeah, the petals will be nice and red here. Okay, that's good. It'll make it look mean. It's a mean flower. And red things in nature are often dangerous. They're red, so we know to avoid them. Or so I've heard anyway. Don't really know. But I'm sure that's something I could read up on and find out. If I went to my local library, they got lots of books that you can just borrow for free. As long as you have a library card. If you don't have one, you can get one. They'll give you one. Also for free. At least around here. I don't know what it's... I hope that's true everywhere in America. If not, maybe that'll be a cause that I can take up someday. Just making sure all the there's a library everywhere in America and it's still free. Even though I'm sure people will be like, well, why don't you just use Wikipedia? Maybe I want to read a book, man. Maybe I don't want to just stare at my computer screen 24 hours a day. Maybe I want to pick up a book. Physically manipulate the pages. Feel what the paper feels like. Feel what the whatever the dust jacket on the book feels like. So on and so forth. Alright, so maybe yeah, so I'm gonna have to go up here and make a little bit more of a distinction between the actual, that's not, is that black? That's weird. Excuse me. Where the flower and the like what's the word? The bloom and the non-bloom part are, so that's, I think that'll do it there. And then this can remain red. This portion here, and then this other part will be like some kind of green. It's not quite a goober green, but yeah, there we go. Because having the bloom and the actual plant be the same color. I mean, even though I can do whatever I want in this, that seems a little silly to just phone that in. I've looked at a flower before, painted a few of them, so I don't want to just throw all my knowledge away. Alright. And we'll just make all these plants will be the same color, just for the sake of simplicity and speed. I'm definitely excited to get back and work on that Sinister Snail book that I had begun, but this just seemed kind of like the natural way to start this all off, to do a nice simple book like this where I won't encounter too many problems and just be able to get in, get it done, and get out, you know. Alright, especially since we've got summer vacations fastly approaching, and that means time to work is going to be more and more limited for me, except in the wee hours of the morn, or perhaps late at night, but the more time I devote to this stuff during time I should be sleeping, the worse I am at being a dad, and that's not okay with me. So, if you are doing this stuff, you're following along, just remember that if you've got homework, or you're playing a sport, or you've got some, you know, chores or anything, you know, doing things like this, if they're not your job, your main job, they have to come second. Which doesn't mean you can't do them, it just might mean you can't do them as much as you'd like, or for as long as you'd like. But that's okay, 'cause that's part of life, making compromises and choices. Okay. Let's see here. Looking like a page. Looking like a spread. 2 pages. next page, our next spread of 9 and 10 might be my favorite one that I've done so far for this book. So I'm looking forward to doing that one. And then to seeing where we're at once I get 11 and 12 done. Still may need to redo the cover now that I've gotten more comfortable drawing these characters that I've created. It'll be a lot easier to make it less stiff and more fun to look at, hopefully. Let's make this nice and bright, these little things. Not sure how visible any of this stuff is going to be at print size, not that it really matters. Okay, and then the ground. So I'll make a new layer underneath and just make the ground like a green color too. Yeah, I think this time I may actually use the lasso. I don't want to do it. I don't know why. I just don't like doing it, but we'll do it. Supposedly it's so much faster to do it this way. Especially when you make a ridiculous mistake like that. So I needed to close it around the entire selection that I wanted to make, so I kind of messed that up. Okay, so good. That's done. Deselect. Back to coloring, and then fill in the spots. I feel like it should still have a little bit of green in them, or erase anything that I feel like shouldn't have green in it. This is on the layer beneath this, so I can color inside of her robes and it doesn't affect anything. Alright, so that flower is clearly, it has goober in it, in its grasp. Amanita sees goober, she's pointing at him, so she's found him in the game of Goblin Seek. Just a couple flowers. A couple additional flowers. And I think we're good to go here for now. So, yep, that's pages, the study cover and pages 1 through 8 are done here. Thanks to anybody who took the time to watch it. I appreciate your time and your support. Hopefully I can get the rest of this stuff moving soon and start putting out some videos to help people who want to make a book. Alright, thanks a lot. Take it easy.